on today's show, Dane Brugler has dropped his top NFL draft quarterback prospects for the 2026 NFL draft. We will break them down. He's got 40 different prospects in total. We won't discuss all 40 in depth, but we'll go through his top 6 and other names that are noteworthy to me. But if you are excited that football is back, whether it is college or professional football, preseason pro football's here, college football returns this weekend as well, then show it by liking the video, please, and thank you. Let's go from 1 to 6 on Dane's quarterback rankings, his top 6 that he went a bit more in depth on. First up is Arch Manning out of Texas. Arch making the comments on Tuesday that he doesn't know where his granddad said he was going to go back for 2 more years no matter what. Although the behind-the-scenes reporting has been that is the plan. Plans can change. Arch Manning, if you were betting on one quarterback right now, and this is kind of how Dane does his rankings in the summer, is probably the one you want to bet on. We haven't seen a lot of him. We've actually seen very little of Arch Manning. But when he has been out there, he's got everything you want. He looks like a natural quarterback. He looks like a Manning, but he's got incredible athletic ability, too. The arm strength is there. I have a player comp that I've mentioned previously that I want to see him do it before I fully tweet it out and stuff, but I'll hide it in the videos. If he is the guy we think he can be, it's Andrew Luck. Athletic, big arm, not that dissimilar builds either. Dane put his best trait as passing rhythm, where he operates very well within structure, outside of structure, goes through his reads, but he's got 95 career pass attempts. It's the sample size. We would not be talking about Arch Manning the same way if he were a 3-star quarterback whose last name wasn't Manning. That's fair, but we would be very intrigued by him. But there is kind of that built-in expectation. By the way, in his piece, Dane's got updated sizes, estimations for underclassmen, verified measurements for upperclassmen, 6'4", 215. He can easily pack on 10, 15 more pounds and get that really ideal NFL build, assuming the 6'4" is accurate. Of course, unclear if he'll turn pro, but if he wins the Heisman, if he's everything we think he is, and they win the Natty, and the Saints pick number 1 overall, I think he's going to go pro, right? But does that happen? Who knows? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know at the pinned comment of today's show. Number 2, LaNorris Sellers out of South Carolina. Now, you saw the good with Cam Newton, and we're seeing the bad right now with Anthony Richardson. He is a really intriguing dual threat where, I hate playing against him in CFP 26. It is kind of realistic. He just makes guys miss. The power that he actually has with the ball in his hands as a runner, of breaking sacks, all of that stuff is really impressive, and he is a fantastic athlete. If you cut the best 10 plays of LaNorris Sellers, it looks like the number 1 overall pick. And some of those plays are making passes. It's not just him running around making plays in the pocket. Now, or out of the pocket. Now, he has to do better as a passer. There is still room for him to grow. Sometimes takes a little bit too long to go through his reads, kind of like you saw sometimes at Justin Fields' issues there. But the traits are so appealing. 6'3", 240. Even though he doesn't look 240, he carries it like he's 220. I mean that in a really positive way. Big arm, big mobility, the traits that NFL teams always find a way to fall in love with. So would not be surprised if Sellers takes a step forward and you've kind of got short Cam Newton upside here. Today's show is made possible by Ethos. As a father of 1 kid and a second one on the way very soon, trust me when I say life insurance matters. It's not fun to think about what would happen if something happened to you, but you need to be prepared. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. Ethos is a trustworthy company that disrupts the traditional life insurance industry, and it's more affordable than you might think. Ethos is an online platform that makes getting life insurance fast and easy to protect your family's future in minutes, not months. There is no complicated process, and it's 100% online. No medical exam is required. You just answer a few health questions and get a quote in as little as 10 minutes. 3 million families have completed their applications and trusted Ethos to help find the right coverage. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. Number 3, the Nuss Bus, Garrett Nussmeier out of LSU. There are moments he looks incredible, and some moments he maybe doesn't look incredible. I think as a pocket passer and like the presence, the willingness to stand in there and make some throws, I like a lot of what I see. There's even just some ball knowledge that is clearly there as the son of Doug Nussmeier. Dane called it command as his best trait. Sure. There are moments it's just like, I call it a little bit too much Tony Romo in him. And I think they're good in the bad Romo. Like he'll do some fun stuff and make the pocket work for him. But it's like the consistency of like the decision making is not always there. Like there's moments of just like he just doesn't see the guy dropping into the hook zone and he throws it right to him. Too many Romo moments of like, I can make the throw. No, actually, you can't do it. Verified measurements, by the way, for Garrett Nussmeier. He's not very big. He's under 6'1", 204 pounds. But I think he does have a chance to be the first quarterback drafted. Who will be the first QB taken in the upcoming 2026 NFL Draft? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Who's that first QB taken? At number 4, Fernando Mendoza. This is the Cal transfer to Indiana who I call he's the preferred quarterback for the QB nerds. And I mean that in a positive way. Like all the film grinders, every film grinder's like, yeah, I like what Mendoza does. And the reason being is like he does like actual quarterback stuff. Like he moves around the pocket. He processes pretty well from what we see. He's able to read the field out there. He's able to actually throw over the middle. Some of these QBs, man, they don't attack the middle. Like Malik Willis was scared of it. His heat map was red on the outside and blue in the middle, and that's not a good thing. Mendoza's the opposite. He will take those fields, take those shots over the middle. Now, Mendoza, the downside that Dane mentioned about rushing his process, took some sacks. O-line was an issue at Cal, to be fair. But there's times he just his internal clock gets sped up a little bit too much. Listed at 6'5", 225. That's the estimated size as well from Dane. Got some traits that make him very appealing. Speaking of traits, Drew Allar out of Penn State. This is really intriguing. Like what he can do. The arm strength is incredible. The mobility is actually pretty solid too. He's not an elite level runner, but he can move a little bit. He's not going to be a statue back there. He has a powerful arm. Dane's got a good note here. 35.5-inch arms, which is, I want to say Michael Penix was the only one who had arms that long. 35-inch arms is not quarterback. That's offensive tackle's dream. Quarterbacks never have arms that long. It also leads to sometimes some longer motions in the throwing motion there. He has the power. He has the traits you want. The consistency is not there. He spent a lot of time with a quarterback coach, and he still has footwork issues. And he hasn't shown up against the best competition yet. He's going to get a chance to do that this year. Verified measurement, by the way, 6'4" and change, 237. Again, textbook size and power with the arm strength and everything for an NFL QB. It's just, you can't look like Tarzan and play like Jane sometimes. Are you buying the Drew Allar hype? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comments section of today's show, Y or N. Number 6, Cade Klubnik out of Clemson. He has gotten, and this is the stuff I look for, Allar's gotten a little bit better. Klubnik's gotten better each and every single season. It is perfectly reasonable to assume he's going to get better again this season. The mobility, the improv skills are there. He does all of those things that you tend to search for. Thought he played really well in the CFP for Clemson. Little too late, but he's got ability. I don't think he's got an elite arm, but it's not bad. It's good arm. It's like above average arm, if not plus arm. He's got plus mobility too. There are moments that he kind of panics a little bit back there. I think some early Clemson offensive woes kind of trickled down there. It's not that big either. Verified measurement here for the Austin product. 6'1.5", 204. Not Bryce Young, Kyler Murray small, but not exactly crazy big either. Who did Dane Brugler leave off of his top quarterback rankings? We'll mention the other 34 players that he mentioned as well. So they're probably in that list, or they're just not draft eligible. But let me know who Dane left off of his top quarterback rankings. We'll begin with the seniors. That's Garrett Nussmeier, Drew Allar, Cade Klubnik, obviously. Talon Green is really intriguing to me. I thought he played very well last year for Arkansas. At times, still inconsistent, but he's almost 6'6", 224, mobility, big arm strength. Teams love that stuff. There's Carson Beck. He's got size, but he has to be wildly better than he was last year at Georgia to be back in the NFL's good graces. It's hard to be the high floor, low ceiling guy if you're making a lot of mistakes like he was last season. Baron Morton out of Texas Tech. The senior class gets a little bit thin here, by the way. 6'1", 205, part of the Portal Kings this year. Miller Moss, prediction, will be drafted on day 3 because that's all Brom does. All he does is get these guys drafted at some point. He might put up pretty decent numbers, by the way. Mark Gronowski, as a filmmaker, she hasn't officially won the Iowa job. He's going to win the Iowa job. Transfer from Dakota. 6'2", 236, a bit better than what they've had in recent years. I know there are some fans for Sawyer Robertson. I am not as high on him, but he's got low-end draftable grades right now. Jaden Craig over at Harvard. Grayson James at Boston College, although I would asterisk that one because don't think he's actually going to end up starting the entire season for Boston College. In fact, he's not going to start. Dylan Lonergan has already won that job, so feels like this is your cutoff of guys who might get a look. Walker Eggett, San Jose State. Luke Altmaier actually maybe should be a bit higher. Haynes King, the transfer, is a fun college quarterback. He's not really an NFL QB. Maverick McIver is an elite name. Kyron Drones has talent, but he has not yet put it together at Virginia Tech, but dual threat ability there. Fun college QB. Jack Strand. Look, I will never lie to you guys. I had never heard of Minnesota State Moorhead before in my entire life. So that is I don't think I got any access to Minnesota State Moorhead film. Dane does. I don't think I do. Blake Shapen at Mississippi State. Billy Edwards. Chase Mason. Fun college QBs. Jalen Daniels. He's old and injury prone, though. Diego Pavia should sue for eligibility again because why not? He's not an NFL QB, but I don't know. He's probably not even big enough to be like a Taysom Hill type. Tyler Van Dyke. We mentioned him 3 years ago at Miami, and then he wasn't good, and then went to Wisconsin and wasn't good. Now he's at SMU, so as a backup. So that should tell you where we're at on this list with Caden Salter and producer Aiden's boy, Zach Calzada, because that's a bad situation in Kentucky, too. Underclassmen coming next year. We'll have you covered with more on the NFL draft. Do not miss out. Hit that sub button at youtube.com/chatsportstv. All right, top underclassmen. We mentioned Arch Manning, LaNorris, Sellers, Fernando Mendoza. I think Sam Leavitt, John Mateer, chance those guys are just 7, 8, 9 on Dane's list. Dane's list wouldn't be a huge shock to me. They're both kind of similar players. They're run around, make play guy that not always as consistent as I want from within the pocket, but Sam Leavitt, Jordan Tyson is going to be an electric duo again this year. John Mateer, I think, could have a huge year for Oklahoma, kind of is the savior for Brett Venables or it's not going to work, period. But both those guys are they're fun underclassmen to watch and also kind of sneaky Heisman picks too. A couple different big 12 programs here. Josh Hoover from TCU, who is not that big. That's a red flag for me. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. Avery Johnson is also kind of fun runaround guy. I kind of think Hoover and Johnson should all go back to school. Brendan Sorsby's got some good size. Could be a sneaky transfer up quarterback next year. Aiden Childs flashed to me some last season, but is not a consistent product yet. Nico Iamaleava has great size. He's 6'6" and skinny as all get out. Got to add some mass. I'm not viewing him as a real threat to go pro this year. Eli Holstein at Pitt, part of that Bama class that's actually got 3 guys starting this year, which is kind of crazy. Liked what I saw from him. Darian Mensah at Duke. Got a big-time bag. Ty Simpson is going to get his chance at Alabama. Byron Brown is athletic and fun, but not a finished product yet. Rocco Becht at Iowa State. In theory, a lot of these names we're talking about next year as upperclassmen.